Wrapping it in paper, I sneaked it into the house and placed it in the bag I'd already packed for the trip to Charleston. I never summoned up the courage in my father's lifetime to ask him if he threw that pen set away on purpose or lost it due to negligence. I would never see the white radio again. But I kept that wonderful pen set for years and wrote my second short story with the pen, as well as all the poems published my senior year and the senior essay I turned in that May. I took my father's castaway gift and turned it into language and stories, as I would one day do against him. After I said goodbye to Mom and the kids, Dad drove me to the airport in silence. When we pulled in front of the Delta terminal, he said, "We're here, get out." I reached behind me and brought my bag out of the back seat. He offered me his hand and said, "I bet Hooper beats you out." "He's good, Dad." "No one ever beats your old man out. No one," he said, squeezing my hand harder. "You know what you ain't got?" "What's that, Dad?" "The killer instinct." "Bye, Dad. Merry Christmas," I said, moving quickly into the terminal. My father was wrong about me. I had the killer instinct, but I called it something else. I called it my first novel. I called it The Great Santini. It would put a cruise missile into his cockpit that would change my father's life forever. At the end of the novel, I killed the father. I had the killer instinct, but it would take different forms with me than it had with Don Conroy. Practice began promptly at 1600 hours, and it was a killer. Coach Thompson kept yelling that he was going to sweat the Christmas turkey out of us, but none of us had been able to eat Christmas dinner with our families. There was a strange new vanity to his raving. What my team needed was coaching and teaching and praise. What my team received once more was contemptuousness, rage, and abuse. The Christmas practices were a nightmare, a plebe system. One more boot camp run by one more sadist who drove us like dogs until we dropped from exhaustion in the dry heaves. The Christmas Day practice lasted 3.5 hours. One of us had to puke before he would stop. In the first days back, we joked about selecting a designated puker. After that, we quit joking about anything. Those were dark, terrible days made worse by our utter isolation from the world. But that first practice was the worst. I still dread Christmas with every cell in my body. Mel Thompson killed it for me. I had a great surprise waiting for me that first practice. For the first time in my varsity career, I was made a permanent member of the blue team. I felt like an absolute traitor to my green weenies. I was so completely committed to the idea of the green weenies that it shook me up to wear the enemy colors. And when I put on the blue jersey, I did not realize that I was a marked man. It put me between the crosshairs of my coach, the one who seemed to envy the players who composed his starting five. In those Christmas practices, Mel screamed at me every time I took an outside shot or drove the lane. "Pass the damn ball, Conroy," he yelled. "Quit shooting it. You contribute nothing to this team when you shoot." The phrase, "Don't shoot, Conroy," I carry as both tattoo and motto from that dispiriting time. My teammates and I grew quieter and less playful and tolerant of one another as each day passed with agonizing slowness. We ached and hurt and fought each other in scrimmages. Our heads hung in exhaustion in the shower room, and I once saw Moore, Bridges, and Zinski taking showers, all of them leaning on the wall for support. They looked like boys who had nothing left to give, as though someone had let the air out of their hearts. In the News and Courier on January 2, 1967, the sports writer Evan Bussey wrote, "The Citadel basketball team will try to pick up where it left off before the Christmas holidays when it plays Jacksonville University in the Armory. The Bulldogs have 4 men in double figures as they have averaged 79 points a game. The leading scorer is senior center Danny Moore with a 14.5 mark, followed closely by John DeBross with a 14.1 average. A pair of sophomores, Al Kroboth and Bill Zinski, are the other two in double figures, with 11.1 and 12.7.